Hey there, Foggy here. Welcome to day 164 of my year of solo board gaming. Considered by many to be ill-advised and stupid. We are playing Trismegistus. I can't even say the name of this game. Trismegistus, the ultimate formula. And we're playing against Botmegistus, also equally difficult to pronounce. This is probably one of the more complex games I have. In fact, it took me a couple hours to actually remember how to play this after watching like a YouTube video, reading through the rules, and I actually printed out this helpful player aid from the Board Game Geek site and then had to write more things on it because it still wasn't that helpful. I've also got the symbols legend here. This game is all about trying to make you're trying to get victory points, essentially, is what you're trying to do. But you're trying to do that by making gold, silver, complete formulas, complete experiments, all this fun stuff. And it's complex. It is. There's just no sugarcoating this. This is a complex game. We are playing up against Botmegistus, an AI that's going to be taking from this deck of cards with the lovely little cat on it. And we'll be using this deck. Basically, it'll perform actions based on what's on here. It'll be trying to do its own thing, achieving all sorts of fun victory points. I'm going to put this up here. Now, there are personality cards, and there are also specialty cards. We're not going to play with either of those. They make the game a little bit more difficult. The standard rules is that you play with the specialty cards. And whatever you give up in terms of your starting stuff, when you make your choices, and we'll get into that in a bit, those help influence what sort of person Botmegistus is. But we're not going to actually do that. So we're actually just going to put these aside. They're going to be over here. They're going to be playing the light blue character. The light blue things, and we're going to be the dark red things over here. We're going to set this a little bit out of order. So first of all, we're going to take these things with the little paws on the back of them. They basically represent the different essences. This is our mastery track right here, not our mystery track. That's just crazy talk. This is our mastery track right here. It goes from 0 to 12, and basically there's one for earth, fire, wind, and water and air. Even the symbols are confusing. Earth, fire, water, air. Now, normally they're going to match up with mercury, salt, whatever this is, ether, and sulfur. But they do give you these little paw print things that allow you to basically randomize the order of those, and we're going to actually use those. So we've got these little mixed up things here. I'm going to go ahead and put these out. So mercury ends up in the mercury spot. Salt ends up... I'm really doing this randomly. I really am. There's a 50-50 chance that these will not matter. All right, good. We have some slight difference here. It's sulfur in place of ether and ether instead of sulfur. Woohoo. All right, big difference there. And then we've got these 8 things here that are going to go over the X's. These 8 things are little bonus things for whichever player gets them first. Probably the bot, and you'll see why. So we got a chameleon bonus there. We've got an extra proficiency bonus. That's also a proficiency bonus. That is a mastery track booster. As is that. That's another chameleon, and then another chameleon. All right, so that's that. Now we're going to figure out how far up the mastery track Botmegistus starts. So we're going to roll 2 dice. We're going to roll... Oop. So that's that. And that's that. And technically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to use the unused dice. There are a couple extra dice in addition to these. We're starting off with 4 red, 4 black, and then a whole bunch of white. We got 6 whites here. And normally there's like 2 other dice that you would include with this when setting up the game for like 4 players, but for 2 players you take away those dice. We're going to use these 2 to basically move them up the track. Now, the black one was first. That's going to correspond with the male symbol over here, and this male symbol can basically be anything. It can be any of the 4 essences. So when you're boosting up Botmegistus, okay, so this first one means that he's going to go, if I rolled the infinite symbol as well, or this one, he's going to go up his lowest track. Right now, his lowest track is all of them. They are the same. So there's nothing really distinguishing between any of them, so he's just simply going to move up 1 on the left-hand track. Then finally, we're going to do this, whatever this symbol is, that corresponds with nothing. Oh, that's because it's its own symbol. And so they're going to go up. That's going to go up 1 more as well. So he's starting off with 2 on the Mercury track, which is not good. Then we're going to take these dice and we're going to roll all of them. Yes, I do have a thing I could roll all the dice into. Enjoy the sound of that. And then we're going to figure out what got rolled here and just sort it out into the little bowls that are provided. And there's a whole bunch of bowls here, and it looks like we're actually going to have to do a reroll, potentially. I think I just adjusted one by accident, which is not good because I think that means that now we definitely have a reroll. This is 24. This will go down here. This is this. All right, and then these 2 go here, and this is the most time-consuming portion of the game. There we go. All right, so now what you do, if you have any bowl that has more than 5 of the dice in it, you then take those dice and you re-roll all of them. So we've still got a couple of these, but now we've got another of this, another of this, another of this, and another of this. Essentially, you cannot have 5 or more. If we had rolled the dice in such a way that we ended up with more than 5 in another bowl, we would re-roll that bowl as well. We could potentially just be re-rolling until the end of time. Which would suck. Then we're going to take these little symbols here. Now, there are a bunch of player boards in here that have different scientists on them, as identified right here. And there's a set of 8 tiles that will go along with that. These are going to get randomized, and then you're just basically going to fill in these spots here. You're going to turn them over, and they're basically going to give you different bonuses as you complete different objectives or different formulas. The first time that you complete a formula of a specific type, you're going to take one of these formulas, one of these bonuses, and they're going to go into this little space down here. They're going to go face up, and then you can use them and turn them face over. And if you have any row that is completely filled, you get bonuses on the top and bottom or left and right. So there's a lot of little extra bonuses down here that are really nice. You're going to take 2 of these little reaction tokens. Those get reset every turn. We'll put them up here. I think that's probably an easier way to see them on the board. And you're going to take 1 of each ether, 1 of each substance. So 1 salt, we'll put these right here, 1 sulfur, 1 ether. You're also going to fill in, you're going to use these gold cubes pretty much for a lot of things. There's going to be one that goes into each of the round areas on here. I believe this is lead, copper, where's my little cheat sheet here, tin, and mercury. You're not going to put one on iron or silver or gold. And essentially these circles mean that it's raw. These are raw materials, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to transform them into the actual full materials that you can use for your formula. And there are 2 ways to do that. One is you can either take raw material and transmute it up into the next essence. So you can take this copper, for example, and you can go up here to tin, or you can take, if you already had, say, refined mercury, you could convert that to iron as well, regular iron, and then you can keep going. You can take any type of iron, make it silver, and silver can get transmuted into gold. But we're going to start off like that. In addition, go ahead and give Bot Megistus 2 gold to start, and give Bot Megistus a potency, a little potency booster. Next up, we're going to deal out some experiments. So first, we're going to take the starting experiments, and you're going to take 2 of these. I'm going to give these a quick shuffle, and we're going to put these. I think part of the struggle is trying to figure out where I'm going to put everything on the board here, but I think this should work. So these are the 2 that we can choose to start off with. We're also going to take the ones that have 1 on the back. There are 3 rounds to this game, and you'll be using the numbered experiments for each one. So the 1s will go here, and they'll go face up on the left-hand side. You won't do anything with the 2s and 3s quite yet. You're going to be taking the master achievements, or master experiments. You're going to be taking 2 of those. We'll take these 2. You're going to take of the starting achievements, starting artifacts. These artifacts will go in these little spots down here, and they'll get activated every time that you perform a transmutation that uses the area that it's adjacent to. So if you transmute lead, for example, into copper, and you have an artifact here, you'll be able to trigger it. If you have one over here and you transmute silver to gold, you'll trigger that. And we're going to start off with 2 of those as well. The remaining level 1 artifacts, you're going to give a quick shuffle to. And they'll go here in these spots. 2 on the red, 2 on the white, and 2 on the black. The rest of the 1s you'll put here, and the 2s and the 3s you can put off to the side. You can put those on top of the decks that those go with. All right, then you're going to take 2 publications at random. And that's going to go into your starting area as well. All right, what else am I forgetting? There's going to be a 6-sided dice that you can just keep down here. It's going to be helpful for determining which artifact that Trismegistus will use if there's no other criteria to follow. There's a whole lot of criteria for Trismegistus to follow, so the chances that we'll need that dice are pretty slim. But it could happen. Finally, we're going to go through and choose what our starting things are going to be. So the first thing that we have to do is choose whether or not we want to go with, if we want to go with this artifact, which is an earth artifact that will give us some refined material. And actually, that's pretty important. That's refined material, not raw material. And you can tell by the shape of it. It is square, not circular, so it is refined. But being able to get one of these refined is probably pretty helpful, especially given that our two starting ones here, both of them have refined copper in there. And I'm kind of thinking that if we have this here, then no matter what, like once we get some of this, yeah, both of these are pretty easy to go with. I think I want to go with this one more because it's going to give us a bunch of refined material or raw material. That one's going to basically allow us to do a transmutation plus give us a booster. That's also really helpful. I think we're going to go with the green. And I think we're going to put this here. I think that's going to be a really useful starting start. However, the other artifact that you did not choose goes to Trismegistus. That's in their little thing already. We're already losing to Trismegistus. That's how quick it goes. The starting experiment we're not going to use. We're going to give to Trismegistus as well. We'll put that over there, which I think is just barely visible on screen. All right, looking at our two publications next. We have, for every 3 fire, I think that's how that works. We're going to get 2 times the number of mastery of water. And then for this one, it's 2 times the number of artifacts that we have for... Yeah, it's very confusing. I haven't gotten to an end scoring round yet, but I think this one's probably going to be better for us in the long run. We're going to put this over here for now. We're not going to need to worry about it till we get to the end game. And then the other one just goes back down under here. We do not give Trismegistus one of those. Finally, we're going to choose a master experiment, and I don't believe Trismegistus gets one of these either. I'm just going to double check here. There's going to be a lot of double checking of the rules as we go along. Oh, actually, we don't even give it the other starting experiment. I think that was one of the other things. I was watching a solo playthrough of this, and what was really confusing is that whoever was playing it had played through a number of games, and so they were playing with all these like variables that you can do. There's a whole thing in here in the rule book about increasing and decreasing difficulty, which is great. and awesome. But if you're doing a solo YouTube video that's meant to show how this plays solo, maybe go with the basics. Don't necessarily, show all the crazy things. But we also do have to choose one of these. All right, so we know that we're probably going to try to shoot for as much water as we can. Neither of these are water-based. We do have one that's earth-based, so I think we're probably going to stick with that. I think this is probably a better one to go with. We have to get 11 in this track. But I think overall that's probably not the worst thing in the world. So we're going to keep that. You can only have as many as 2 experiments at once. Not counting the master experiment. The master experiment is separate. You don't need to worry about that until the end of the game. Or until you can actually achieve it, but you don't have to worry about that for a while. But at any time, you can only have really 2 experiments that you have not yet completed. All right, and I think that's pretty much it. You're going to go first. You get to choose to go first, but if Trismegistus works through all their dice first, then they will go first on the next round. Basically, this shows you who's currently in the order that you're currently going in, and as people complete all 3 dice, they'll go move down to this track in order. So, that's how that works. And essentially the way that we start is that we take a look at everything up here, and I'm sorry the chair is making some noise. I think that's everything. I don't think there's anything else I've forgotten. I have the 2... I feel like there's one other thing. That I'm forgetting in terms of setup. The rule book is not great. Apparently there's a whole bunch of errata in the rule book, and there's an errata in German, a whole list of errata in German, and I have yet to find anything that tells me what that errata is in English. Yeah, so when you're playing with 4 players, you're going to each get a bonus of a different type, depending on which player you are. So the first player doesn't get any bonus. The second player gets an extra proficiency bonus. The third player gets 2 proficiency bonuses, and the fourth player will get 2 proficiency and 1 more mercury. We're not going to get any of that. We're just simply going to start off with our 2 reaction tokens and our wits, and good luck. All right, so our first thing is that we probably want to do this transformation, just get on the board really quick. What we're going to need is a black dice for that, and we want to try to keep in mind that we'll also use that black dice for other things, so we might want to try to get a certain experiment. We also might want to try to get a certain essence. So looking at what we got here, we know that we want to get mercury, because that's going to help us along this track, and that's the one that we need for our master experiment. I'm looking at this. Not the worst thing in the world in terms of what we might get out of it. It's going to require some air mastery, so we will also want to try to get some of this essence as well. All right. In fact, one of the things I am worried about is that I do need to get some... Yeah, we're going to go with this because I need to get up to 2 here before I can even do this experiment, and I'm not going to be able to do that unless I actually burn through some mercury. So I'm going to need some mercury first. So we are going to go with this dice here. Basically, you count up the number of dice that were in the pool before you took the dice. So in this case, it's 3. It's 3 over here. It's 3 here, 3 here, 2, 2. That will go on the 3 track here, which is also why you can't go over 5. If you had one of these special proficiency dice, you could boost it up, but you cannot boost it past 5. So if you pull one that is 5, you can't play one of these and make it 6. That would just be crazy pants. And we don't believe in crazy pants here. All right. So that is going to be the first thing that we do is we draft that dice, and now we can use it. Now, what we need to do is we need to actually get some stuff here. We need to burn through some mercury, so we raise up this over here. And I think what we're going to do is we're actually going to get the mercury first. So we're going to go down 2 mercury so we can get those. Yeah, this is going to be tricky, I think. We're actually we're just going to go 1. We're just going to go 1 mercury for now. Let's see what Bot Magistus is going to do. We'll leave this area open over here. I think that's probably better. All right, so now Bot Magistus is looking for either, and I'm going to have to look at the symbols here to see what they are. They are looking for either copper or mercury. And what they're looking for is the highest proficiency dice that can be copper. And I say that because they're going to look at the copper, they're going to look at the mercury, and they're also going to look at these symbols in the middle. And what they're going to want is a white dice, and since one of these infinities can be used as a white dice, they're going to take this one and they're going to put it right in the center. And if they have any proficiency things, they're going to go ahead and use that. They're only going to be able to use one per dice. You can't use more than one, but they're going to boost that up. You're then going to do this middle area here. That means that you're going to lower this by 1, and they're going to go up on 2 on the water track. So already there it's sort of pushing ahead. Boo. All right, so we're going to go ahead and use, go back over here. We're going to use this dice, lower it 1 proficiency to transform this copper into tin, and we're going to use one cube here in mercury to make that happen. So that's going to raise us up 1 here on the mastery track. In addition, this is going to trigger, and we're going to get 1 refined copper or 1 refined tin, and as we mentioned before, we want the 1 refined copper. So we're going to go ahead and fill that in. What we could do is we could think about how we want to, whether or not we want to do something different, given what we've got here, but I think we're going to be okay. So now we're going to go over here. All right, they're not going to look for a dice this time. They've already got a dice. They're not going to worry about that. They are going to go down 1 more, and this time they're going to take an experiment based on this dice. So they're going to take the experiment that corresponds with this, which is over here. They're going to take this for themselves. So that's their first experiment. We're then going to replace it. And we're going to take a look at this. They need a 3 mastery in water. And right now they've got a 2 mastery. Because they have gold to make up the difference, they're going to go ahead and do that. So they use that, and now that is part of their end game scoring. We're going to slide this onto the tracker. This is how they say to do it. I don't believe them, because I think you're going to run into some issues. They don't get any bonuses from completing experiments. You don't give them anything like that. They're just going to get points at the end of this. But now they have completed their first water experiment. And that's it for them. Now we can choose to also react to this dice, and I think we're going to do that. These little things here mean that you can do things when your opponent uses a dice based on this dice. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to go ahead and do a white transformation, which is anything here. We're going to transform this raw tin to copper, and we're going to use mercury, and we're going to use mercury as the essence. The reason that we're going to do that is because that pushes us up to 2 there, which is where we want to be for our turn. It's now our turn. We have 1 more dice to use here to get down to 0, but more importantly, we now have 2 in earth, and we have the materials that we need to complete the experiment. So we're going to complete this experiment, and in return, we're going to get 3 essence. 3 raw materials, I mean, not essence. Very important to draw the distinction there. We're going to get 2 lead, and then we can choose anything else. We can choose any other material that we want. And I think what we're going to want, even though we don't really know what we're going to choose, I know that we kind of want this one, which means that we're going to need a mercury. We're going to need a copper, a tin, and an iron. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a mercury and put that down here. Sorry, my chair keeps making noises, by the way. Still trying to get used to that. The other thing that's really cool is that because this is a completed experiment, it'll go behind the green column over here. This is where your green, red, blue, and black ones go, even though this is yellow. I know that doesn't make any sense, but we're going to put that there. And then we're going to get one of the 2 bonuses here. I think what we're going to do, because I kind of like, I feel like what we need are essences, but the essences are all along this column here, and that's going to take forever to get. I think we're going to go for this one so we can get the 2 silver pretty quick. We could also go here and try to get silver and the gold, but I kind of like the idea of getting 3 essences as well. So let's go here. We're going to take this one, and because we want to try to get this, we still haven't actually taken our turn yet. We want to get this one. We're going to go up 2 on this track so that we can try to complete this 3 over here. So that is everything there. Now, the first time that you play an experiment of a certain color up here, you'll get the bonus for free. Oh, and this has to get flipped over now that I've used it. The second one, you have to actually pay gold for. So if I want this one, I have to put 1 gold down for it if I want to get it. We're now actually going to take our turn. We're going to use this. We're going to actually claim this experiment over here. And with that, our turn is actually over. And our first dice is now actually done. All right, so Trismegistus is going to go. They are still using the same dice as before, so we ignore that. They're going to go down by 1. They're not done yet, but they are going to go ahead and get 1 gold as a result. So they got 2 gold now. All right, our turn. We are done with dice over there. So now we got to think about what we're going to do for other dice. So we need to get a number of black transformations here, and I think we want to go with one of these 2. And I'm just trying to think of what we want. We could go for this. This is actually a little bit easier. It's going to give us 1 each of each essence. It's only going to be worth 5 points. We could also go here. I mean, this isn't too bad. I think it's a toss-up. Neither of them look really great. We also need to get that. We also could be looking for another artifact. We don't really have any artifacts right now. We've got 1 that we can choose to recharge, but that's going to be difficult to do, I think. If we take an artifact, it has to be one of these 2 artifacts, but like whatever artifact you choose has to match the color of the dice, but it does not have to match where you put it. So if I grab a red artifact, for example, it does not have to go in the red slots. It can go in either of these, which seems a little weird. But we know that we're going to want to activate this slot. We know that we're going to want to activate some stuff here. We know that we want to get some raw iron at some point. So I think that might be what I want to do, is grab one of these. Let's get this red here, put that there, and then we're just simply going to get 1 iron. So that's that. All right, Trismegistus is going to go. They're still not quite done. They're going to go down 2. Well, they're done with their dice. We're going to put that up there. It doesn't really matter what it was on before. So, and then they're going to go up 2 on this track over here. I think Trismegistus. It's when Trismegistus goes off the board. We're going to just quickly check that. Looking up under the lab cleanup phase. Yeah, we're playing it right. There are so many rules with this. It is difficult to know if I'm actually doing things correctly. But I think we're good. So we've moved there. It is now our turn. What we can do is we can recharge this artifact, and I think we're going to go ahead and do that. At least I'm not sure if I can recharge an artifact of that color, in which case I probably should have chosen a black one. Spend exactly 1 potency to recharge any one of your artifacts by flipping it face up. So yeah, I don't think it has to match the color in that case. We should have grabbed a black one, though, because we wanted... I'm going to go ahead and just say that we grabbed a black one. Sorry, I'm going to MacGuffin here. mulligan. I'm going to mulligan here. Sorry, wrong term. I'm going to mulligan here and just choose that, do that instead, because we do need to actually make this transformation happen. All right, so Bot Megistus is going to go. They're going to go for the highest possible white dice. And I think in this case, because they can choose either the infinity or this one, they're going to go with this one. Because they sort of choose from the infinity well anytime they can, if it does not make a difference in terms of scoring. It is only going to go for a potency of 2, and this is going to get lowered by 3, so this goes immediately off track. They're going to raise their lowest mastery track by 1, which is now clear because there is one that's they are lowest in, and they're going to gain a gold. All right, now it is our turn. We're going to go ahead and do a transformation. We're going to transform this. We still need 2 more transformations to make this happen, and we're not going to make that happen with this dice. That's going to go to 0. We are going to trigger this. We'll go ahead and choose the copper one, however. We get some refined copper, and what's nice is now we are 1 closer. Now we just need to get this transformation, so we'll need a white dice on the next turn. They're going to choose the highest ranked red of either this color or this color. This symbol or this symbol. That's going to be lead. I need to learn the symbols here, I know. Lead or iron. So they're either going to go lead or iron, but it's got to be a red. They're going to take the red here. They're going to put it on 2, go down by 1, and then raise their earth symbol by 2. And they are going to claim the first of the tracks here. And as far as I know, they do not actually do any of these. They just simply get 5 points for getting it. So we're going to put this over here. If they're going to go up 5 points, they are already on the board for 5 points. Boo. We're now going to take this one. We're going to get this for 3. And we're going to immediately just do a transformation. We could, if we wanted to, get an artifact to put here, but that would use up our dice completely. It would also mean that we would go first on the next turn. But I kind of want to get this experiment out of the way because that is going to give us a little bit more to work with. So we're going to go ahead and do the transformation from Mercury over here. We have to use Oh, I forgot that we were supposed to use some essences. We're going to go... I'm just going to choose 2 at random since I'm an idiot. Oh, actually, no. One of them we're going to have to do as the ether. So there we go. We have to do that one because we have to actually have this up to a 3 on the earth side. We're going to do water as well, I think. So that's going to be the sulfur symbol. Forgetting an important step there. Thank you for not yelling at me. All right, but now we can do the experiment. We have 1 raw lead. We have copper. We have tin. We have iron. We're going to use all of those. We have a mastery of 3 in air. We're going to get to go up 1 more in mastery, and we're actually going to claim our first little symbol. Yay. And then we're going to get 2 more of those to work with as well. In fact, we're going to simply exchange that for one of these. So we have 3 of these. That means that we can treat this as any color. Now, one of the things that we can do, put that over there. We also still have 1 more reaction, and we haven't used that yet, and that gets reset at the end of the round, so we'll probably go ahead and do that. They're going to finish off the round. They're going to get 1 artifact from here, and they're going to go with a color that they don't yet have. And since they don't have either one of these, they don't have any experiments, they're simply going to go... They would go by number of symbols, which in this case is identical. So if there's no other way to choose, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. Okay, so they're going to take this one. So that is now their next one that they've got. Flip that over. And now, had this been the arrangement when they went to go choose their artifact, they would have chosen this one. We can now do a reaction to it, and we kind of have to do a reaction to it because we have no other time that we're going to be able to use it. We could do a red transformation, but we don't have anything over in red. We could also grab any type of ether that we want, or essence that we want. And I think that we want to do that. I think we want to grab some essence so that we can do transformations in the future. I forgot to put this up here. I forgot to do the whole, let's finish off this experiment thing, which we'll do in a moment. Let's grab one of these. Okay. Yeah, I'm doing a horrible job of explaining the game. So we completed that experiment. That was supposed to go under here. That means that we get one of these. We can either take the gold or we can take the publication. We're going to take the gold. Put that right here. We're going to get 2 silver as a result because we've now completed a row. We're also going to get 3 essence of any type that we want. We're going to take 1 mercury, 1. I think we're just simply going to line these up here like that. Do 1 of each of these. And then I can use this to get a gold. So, and I screwed up. I'm sorry about that. So now we're done. It has used up all its dice. I'm doing this all out of order. It's used up its dice, so its turn is over. It's ended the round first, so it's going to go first on the next round. And now we're going to go ahead and complete this. Now we've got this here, this white one. Do a couple different things. We can't get an artifact, unfortunately. We can't do any more reaction because the other player's not going to go. We can grab 2 more sulfur. We could grab 2 more essence of tin. We could grab an experiment. We could grab this experiment right here. And how close are we to getting that experiment? We're pretty close. We've got everything that we need except for the iron. So I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to use 1 here to grab this. And then on this last one, we're going to use one of our chameleons. We're going to use that to transform one of these because we can now use this dice as any color. We're going to transform this and we're going to go ahead and use... Oh, we can't do that. We can't complete this experiment anyway. We are going to go ahead and do that, but we're going to use this as the essence to move that up by 1. We have to get this 2 higher before we can actually do anything with this particular experiment. So that was kind of stupid. But that is the end of the round. This will go here. We're now done. So I'll go into the second position and move up. We can now move the remaining ones over here to the side. We'll clear out the artifact area completely. We do not need any of these. We don't clear the experiment. So technically, because I drew an experiment here, this should be here now, which would have used the last of the ones. All right, we're going to put the new artifacts in place. We're going to do some 2s. All right. That one seems crucial. We're going to take some experiments. We're going to put them on the right-hand side this time. All right, so now we've got a whole bunch of experiments, and we can choose from any of those. The remaining 2s will go up here. We recharge any artifacts that we have, and we recharge our reaction tiles. Trismegistus is going to get 2 more of these proficiency cubes. They'll get 3 on the last round. We'll go ahead and clear this off. We don't reshuffle yet. At this point, you would also, if you were playing the normal game, you would figure out the specialty at this point by looking at whatever symbol they have the most of, and that card would go back into the deck here and get shuffled in. But we are playing with an easier level. And we're going to roll all these. I'm going to try to roll all these and not look like an idiot. Too late. All right. So we're going to start spreading these out. It's a lot of dice. And they are not easy to sort of work with, I find. Yeah, we're going to have to re-roll. If you have to re-roll multiples, there's a sequence to re-roll them that I'm not going to look up right now because we don't actually have to do that. But we do have 6 here, so we have to re-roll these. So that'll go there, that'll go there. This will go here. This will stay here. There we go. So we got a lot over on this side, which would be great. Maybe. We'll find out. Trismegistus is going to go first because they were the first to complete the last round. They're going to take the highest ranked red in either Infinity, Tin, or Mercury, and since it's Mercury, they're going to take this, and they're going to put it on 4, and they're immediately going to use one of their proficiencies to go up by 1. And then they're going to use 2 and gain an experiment from this area. They're going to go with whichever one they can qualify for that has the most points. So right now, they are at one of them is for a 6 in air, which they cannot do. The other is for a 3 in earth, which they can do, so they'll go ahead and take this. And they complete it. They don't get any bonus points for it, but they do complete it. So we'll just slide this in under here in the very easy way that they say that we're supposed to be able to do that. They don't go up at all. They're not going to gain any benefits from completing the experiment. That'll just count for points at the end of the game. But for now, that's the end of their turn. And we don't replace the 1s when they get used up. We will replace the 2s. So this doesn't get taken, but this could. So now we want to look at what we need to do. We need to get this this up here. So I think we're going to take one of these symbols because we do want to... I think we have all of the symbols that we need to complete this experiment, but we definitely want to get some of the sulfur that we need to get up the fire track. And the other thing that we want to look at is what else can we do here. So if we go for this, we do have that. We do have that. And I'm wondering if there's anything we can transform that. We have one of those, but we need the, yeah, we need the weight there. I feel like this is the easier one to get, but I kind of want the, I don't necessarily want to stick with level 1 experiments. We're also nowhere near getting high enough for level 6. So I think we're going to take this one. We want this one. So which dice color do we want? Think we want to go for the black one so we can transform this and also get the bonus there. That's going to put us at 4. And now we can actually do something with it. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take this experiment. You can have up to 2 inactive experiments at any one time. And again, because that was a 1, we're not going to replace it. And finally, the last card from Trismegistus is going to be using this to get 3. So they're done their first card already. They're going to go up 2 on the fire track. Boo. So we're going to shuffle them up and get them ready for the next round. We're going to go ahead and grab, I think, 2 sulfur. Now you can do this as one action, but if you do this as one action on the iron side, you cannot not grab multiple symbols. So I cannot grab a sulfur and an ether. I have to grab 2 sulfurs. So that's something to keep in mind there. They're going to grab the highest black dice in either tin, mercury, or infinity. So because infinity and mercury are the same, they're going to grab this. They're going to set it to mercury. They're going to make that they're going to make that, I think, a 24. Sorry, a 10. Because they can do that instead of the mercury one. They're going to go ahead and use this. That's going to go to 4. They're going to go down by 2, and then they're going to grab an artifact. They're going to go grab a black artifact with the most symbols on it, which would currently be this one. We'll go ahead and replace that. Boo, hiss. All right, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to go ahead and do a transformation. We'll do this one right here. That's going to give us an extra symbol as well. Looks like we're going to need an extra copper, refined copper, so we'll go ahead and grab that. And just fill that in there. So that is now used. We are going to use one of these sulfurs to do it and go up 1 on that track. We still have one more transformation that we have to do, but we've at least used that dice. We're going to flip that. We're going to go down by 2, so they've used up their second dice. They're going to gain an experiment, this time from the 24. Which one can they do? They are up to here, and they can do this 5 one by spending gold, so they'll go ahead and do that. So they'll get this experiment. All right, I'm just going to put these up here. I don't think that that's going to really work otherwise. And I realize you cannot see that off screen, so I apologize, but they are going to use 1 gold. Because currently they're at 4 earth. That's a 5 earth. They needed 1 gold to do that. I really wish those would stop making noise. All right, so my turn. I'm going to go for I need to get, what, one more transformation. I want to do a white. Kind of want to get some good leverage out of it. I think I'm just simply going to go for another one of these. And I also have not reacted at all. I've not done any reactions whatsoever. With that 24, I could have used one of my reactions. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that retroactively. Sorry, not 24, but 10. With the 10, I can recharge that and just get that going. And then that'll be helpful if I do actually get another transformation over in this area, which might not happen. We are going to do one transformation, though, here. Bring this up here. And now, let's take a look at what we can do. We're going to use some sulfur to make that happen. That'll bring us up to 3. We can use 1 copper, 1 mercury, and 1 silver. And that will complete our first red. So this is going to trigger a couple different things. All right, first thing is we've completed this, so we get the bonus from it, which is that we get to increase the potency of a die, and we go up in fire. So we're going to go up in fire, which means that we get this, and that'll also trigger some stuff. But we're going to get one of these to use. We get this bonus, which is basically go up on a track. I think it's go up on your adventure marker 1 space on any mastery track. Now, that means that we can continue to push up on one of these. We know that we have to get a fair ways up on the Earth track, and we've not made any progress on it. So I think we're going to go one more on this. Probably the wrong move. I'm probably going to make many, many wrong moves. Now, we also get to choose one of these. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to choose this, which is, this is going to allow us to get some transformations done. And it's a transformation of any color, but we have to actually use some essence as a result. And part of the problem here is that we don't have any essence left to work with because we're idiots. But what we need for this particular item is 1 lead, which we have, 1 refined copper, which we have. We need 1 iron, which we have, and we're short on the mercury. Now here's the thing. I could move this up here, and then we'd have it. But the plus side is, because I now have this, I need 1 less material for any red or any fire that I do. So I don't actually need to transform this to make that happen. What I think I'm going to do, I am going to go ahead and make that happen. I'm going to use ether to make that happen, because I think that's the only essence I have left. And I don't have to do it right now. I could have chosen to do it later. We're going to put this up here, and I think we're going to try to complete this column. Yeah, I think that that's probably our best tactic here. I could try to complete this column, but then I need to be able to do 3 more transformations, and I can't do 3 more transformations right now. I don't have enough essence to do that. So instead, I'm going to focus on this column, which will give me a lot of essence. It gives me 4 different essences to choose from of any type. But I have now completed my other, which means I get to flip over this, and I get to choose a publication. And so for the publication, we'll take 2 of these, and we'll choose one of them. And I really don't know enough about these scoring things, but I think I like the idea of this more than I like the idea of this. Yeah, I don't think it's going to make much difference right now. I'm not really getting anything on either of those. All right, so that is now complete as well. I just want to put this under here. I can now choose to buy, and I already have taken my turn. So as soon as I'm done all my free actions, I'm going to be done. But I think I can now buy a formula, believe it or not. And the reason I might want to do that is so I can complete that middle column there, which would be huge. I'm going to look up Philosopher's Stone actions. There's a whole section on that I think I need to pay attention to. Philosopher's Stone. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I wanted to verify. So you can only unlock one in each column with each method. So performing the first experiment of a certain color will unlock one of the two. Unlocking with material will unlock the other. So right now I can choose to unlock the other one with some material. I think though the benefit is that now it's going to be two less material to do any red formula, which is pretty huge. So we are going to go ahead and unlock. We're going to spend 1 gold to unlock this. We're going to put this here. We're not actually going to use it yet. Have we used that? We did use that. No. Did we? We did. I kind of stupidly did because I used 1 essence. Yeah, that was kind of stupid. I wasted a free transformation there. We're going to get a whole bunch of essence here, though. And we kind of need to be up to 6 on some of these tracks. So I'm going to take at least one of these. I think I'm just going to take one of each. I'm going to take one of each essence because I've completed that center column, and I get both this and this. So one goes there, and then the rest go here. All right. Now I'm done. Now I'm complete. This is going to be great if I want to reset both my reactions, because right now I can't do any reaction. We're going to go for the highest possible black dice that is iron, but there is no black dice either in here or in here. So I'm going to look up what it then does. So it's going to take one of these of a different color and then set it to iron, supposedly. The way the draft phase works is it will go with an infinity symbol of the same color, setting it to whatever's on the leftmost or soul image on the card, whichever has the highest potency. A die of that symbol, not of that color, but since none of those exist, it will then take an infinity of a different color, choosing white over red. It goes black, then white, then red in terms of priority. It will then look at symbols with matching that dice matching that symbol. And then if there are none like that, then it will start to go through this other thing altogether. But it's not going to get to the point where it looks at this and says, hey, there's 3 there. That looks really nice to me. It's going to start here and take this white dice. It's going to set it to iron and put it on the 2. It's going to use 1 and get a gold. We're going to do a reaction. And we're going to go ahead and get an essence based on this. And since it's iron, it can be anything that we want. And I think what we want is... Just knock that out of place. Sorry about that. I think we want to get some more sulfur so we can start to move up this track as well. Do I need to move? Yeah, I need to move up the water. I need to move up the earth track, actually. Let's get another mercury. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to take a look at where we can do some transformations here. Kind of want to get some raw essence, but since my raw essence right now is this color... Oh, wait, I still have a dice up here. I can't even take another dice yet, so never mind. What do I want? What do I want more than anything in the world? What do I want? What do I really, really want? I wanna. Well, I'm almost at the point where I can get this blue. I need one more mercury, and unfortunately, I don't have the right thing to transform into mercury. I need raw essence, essentially. Oh, my foot's starting to cramp up too. And for I still have a bunch of chameleon cubes too, and so I still got one more dice to go. So I'm gonna have a whole bunch of turns here where I do absolutely nothing but just simply, like this experiment, I can automatically do provided I get up to 6 here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and transform here. Using that, and I'll use some ether. And then that will give me one more expertise here, and now I can grab this on the next turn. So it's going to flip here. It's going to automatically just burn through the rest of this. No, it was on... These dice are so easy to flip over, I find. It's going to go ahead and move this up too. And we're going to use our other reaction because otherwise it goes to waste. And we're going to grab one more, I think, grab another essence of sulfur. All right, so now we're on our own. We can do anything that we want. I think what I want to do is I want to grab this experiment here. I feel like this is a good experiment to get because it's blue, and we don't have any blues, and that will use up that dice. Bot Magistus is done. They're going to go first on the next round, on the last round. So now it's our turn. So we're going to go ahead and choose one of these. I do want to choose... What I really want is something that will allow me to transform here. But if I grab this, I don't think I'd be able to get that dice. Actually, you know what? I can do this. I can grab this, go ahead and use my potency thing to move this up to 4. So now I got 4 to work with. I'm going to use 1 chameleon to make this into a black copper so I can get some raw copper. So that's the first thing I'm doing. Second thing I'm doing is I'm using this to transform that copper into tin. I'm going to use a sulfur to do it. That's going to move me up 1 here. And then I'm also going to get a free copper or tin out of this. And I think I'm going to go ahead and get the copper, the free refined copper. And I apologize. I know you keep hearing that chair go ploomp, ploomp. It's annoying. And then we're going to go ahead and do, let's see, do we have enough for this? We need 1 more mercury, which we currently do not have. We're going to grab an experiment. We're going to grab this one. This one we can actually do. Because this one I can't do because I'm not even close to being on 6 yet. So we're going to ignore that for a moment. Ignore my stupidity there. But we are able to do this. Those all go in here. We've completed a black experiment. That's going to give us 2 ether of any type. We're going to go ahead and take 2 sulfur. Not ether, essence. Keep using the wrong terms there. Feel free to yell at me. We're going to get another chameleon out of this. We're going to go ahead and put this here. Now we have, we don't have any gold, unfortunately, which would be really nice. Unfortunately, we don't have anything that really works there. We have 1 more transformation that we could do if we wanted to. I could use the chameleon cube to transform the mercury into more iron. I'm just not sure if that would really be helpful. We should have replaced both of these, by the way. I'm being an idiot. That should have been replaced. That should have been replaced. I'm not sure where my brain was there. And I'm looking at this and I'm wondering if that would not be a bad thing to go for. Yes, it would be. Oh, and there should have been 1 more here. I'm sorry. These should all be out. All the 2 should be out. And that 5 is probably the one that would work best. I don't have any more silver. I would need to generate some mercury. I do have 1 more lead. But I can generate the mercury the silver at this point. Plus, I keep forgetting this. I don't need all these. I'm going to take back that silver, I think. Because I've already completed 1 up here, I don't need both of these. And there should be 1 of these here. Sorry. Keep forgetting stupid things. So that's something to keep in mind. All the black ones have one less that they need. If I take this one, do I have everything that I need? I have everything I need. I'm going to take that. I'm going to use a chameleon to turn this into a tin. This will use up the last of it, but I get this, and I can just turn right around and make it. I'm going to take a lead. I'm going to take a 24. Sorry, a tin. I don't have the mercury, so I do need to take the other two. That was one less material. I should have caught on to that. And the bonus is that I get to take a chameleon, and I get a random artifact, and a random artifact comes off the top. So this is going to give me something where I get to raise two different adventure marker, 2 spaces on any one mastery track. Well, that's good. Okay, so I think we're going to put that here. All right, but that is now complete. It's a huge plus. All right, and that is the end of the round. I've used up my dice. There's nothing else that I can do, so we're going to go ahead and reset. So that means that all of the 2s go away. Here. We're going to take the artifacts for 3, and we're going to go ahead and put those out. I'm not going to worry too much about my score. I think at this point I'm just going to continue to play through the game, but not worry too much about whether I win or not. We remove the 1s at this point. On round 3, you finally remove the 1s. Those are no longer welcome here. Move all the 2s over that are remaining. We had no 2s left. Can't fill in that extra spot there. And we're going to put the 3s down. We're going to give Trismegistus 3 of these. We're going to take all the dice back. We have to reset our artifacts and reset our dice up here. All right. I think we're done. I think that's it. I think that's all we do. Okay. Let's go ahead and do this. All over the place. Look at how messy that was. Look at how messy that was. All right, so we've got some mercury here, some iron, infinity, more mercury, lead, tin, mercury, tin, sorry, iron, lead, what is this? That's more mercury. Get some of that. Oh, this is interesting. There is no copper whatsoever. We are completely out of copper. And none of these are going to get re-rolled. So that's going to be interesting. Let's go ahead and Trismegistus gets to go first. They're going to draw the highest black dice that is either infinity, copper, or lead. So they're going to take a lead. They're going to put that on 3. They're going to get to use one of these. They're going to get to move up here. They get to move down 1 and then take an experiment from here. They're going to go with... actually, they're going to go with... Yeah, this was from here. They don't get to change that. I'm sorry. I'm being an idiot. And I was missing a dice, so they're actually one higher. I'm messing this all up. Yeah, that's where they should be right now. Sorry. If they were at 8 water or 5 water, they can't get either one of these. And I think in that case, they're just going to take gold. Oh, no, it takes an incomplete experiment. So for the incomplete experiment, it goes with an experiment of a type it does not have yet. Well, it's got a blue, so that's not going to help us factor that. An experiment it can immediately complete, including spending gold to make up any missing master requirement. Well, it's got 3 gold to work with. So right now, because it's a 2 on the water track, it can do this 5. It cannot do the 8. So in that case, it is going to go ahead and take the 5. And we're going to put this over here. And we're going to use up all of the gold. So it has completed that. We can now choose to react. And the reason that we might want to start reacting more is that right now we're just kind of screwed in terms of actually having things to work with. So we're going to go ahead and react. And we're going to get some lead. So we can make some sort of transformations here. Because we still have this. We can reset this at least once. So we want to try to make sure that we're doing some sort of reactions. We now need to pick a dice. And looking at what we need, we kind of need copper if we want to get any silver. Or simply transform things upon this line. But we're not going to be able to do that. I also kind of want to get this mercury transformed. So I think I need a white dice. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for this. I'm going to put this at 4. We don't have any way to boost it. For the 4, the first thing I'm doing is I'm transforming this mercury into iron so that we can get this used. We're going to go ahead and use this sulfur to do the transformation. So that's going to move up there. I can now move up 2 on any track. And it is tempting to do 2 over here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do 2 here so that I get up to this point. And I can claim this and then move up to here and I can claim this. So that is sort of a double whammy there. Which gives me yet another chameleon, which means we should probably start using those. But that is my move here. I get to do 1 transformation and then that is now flipped. Let's see. Trismegistus is going to go. They're going to go 1, 2, 3. So they're moving quick. Then I'm going to go up the fire track twice. All right. My next turn, I don't really have any raw materials to make transformations with. So I'm kind of debating on what I want to get. I could go for another artifact, but that seems really kind of stupid. I could go for iron. I could also use my chameleon at this point. I mean, I might as well. I'm going to go ahead and use my chameleon twice. I think I just need to use it once to get this, to make this active, and then I'm going to change to copper so I can get 2 coppers. 2 raw copper. All right, and then Trismegistus is going to go. He's going to go down 1, and he's going to get to go up the earth track twice. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. I still need to get up this track twice. So I'm going to go ahead and use 1 potency to move this here. That'll move me up 1 more. Plus I get to activate this. And I'll go ahead and take another 10. And that means my first dice is done. It's now going to go for the highest here. It's going to put that at 3, but it's then going to transform that into a 4. It then is going to go down to 3, and its lowest ranked is going to go up 1, plus it's going to gain a gold. I can choose to react to that if I want. Might not be a bad idea. I would get what? Some salt out of that or some lead. Let's react to get the lead. And then switch this over using this. All right. Fun, fun, fun. All right. I now get to choose another dice. I think I definitely want to go here to get some mercury. I think I want to go white. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 3 mercury. Which I know, crazy pants. I'm going to speed through the rest of this game because this is getting a little long and I've got something to do at 9 o'clock. And I'm not playing well anyway, so why prolong the agony? 2. We're going to go up 2 more here. I can choose to react if I want to, but I don't want to. I'm going to do one transformation here. I'm going to use one dice here. Move this up. Do I want to do it that way? No. Do not want to use the silver, the mercury for that. I want to use the sulfur for that, so I can be up here. There we go. All right. So I still can't get this done because I need a lot of mercury. And I can't get the mercury made without actually moving up from some raw tin. So that's something to keep in mind. But I'm now done with my second dice. Bob Magis is going to shuffle again. Looking around and seeing if there's anything else I might be able to do. I can't do anything with this because it requires gold. That requires silver, but I do have one. I do have an option to ignore a requirement there. So I think I could just transform one iron into silver and be able to do that one. Over here, it's going to be difficult to get just because there's nothing really there. The blue up there would be difficult to get because it's got the refined mercury. The green one I can ignore a requirement, so I can still get this one even though I don't have the gold for it. I'm just nowhere close on the mastery track. Essentially, because I've ignored the mastery tracks and not done a very good job of going up on them, I'm not going to be able to get very far in this game. So it's going to take this 3. It's going to boost it up by 1 to make it 4. It's going to then go down by 2 and go up on the air track by 2. So now at this point, what can I do? I can go ahead and do a reaction to it, which I think just makes sense, and grab any essence I want, or I could grab some iron. I think what I want to do is grab essence. I think that is the important thing there. So I will grab some sulfur, I think. Or actually, I'll grab some mercury. Mercury seems a little bit more useful. All right. And now I get to go. I'm going to go ahead and take... I mean, this seems like the best choice here. I don't think about it. Don't think about it. Just take it. That's going to go onto the 3. That's going to give you the most potency. And then we're just going to go ahead and just go hog wild. We're going to go and transform this. And we're going to move this up here, and we're going to use some mercury to do that. So we go up here on this track. It's kind of pointless. I mean, it really is. Actually, we're going to move one back here. We're going to still use the mercury for this, but we're going to go ahead and transform that into silver. Again, I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm losing this game horribly. I think it doesn't really matter at this point what I do. This is going to go down by 3, so it's done. It's going to raise the lowest of it by 1. So I think it goes up on this one because it's behind me. And then it's going to gain a gold. And this is my last chance to react to anything. So I will choose to react to grab, let's say, just a sulfur. Because again, I'm not really thinking about anything right now. I'm going to go ahead and transform. Is there anything I can get at all that I can then complete? I need... Yeah, I'm going to use one chameleon to make this into... to transform this into this. Oh, no, it's not going to matter because we're way too far down. We're way too far down. What am I even remotely capable of doing? I'm capable of doing this one. Can I get that one? I've got the lead. I've got this. I've got this. I need an iron. So I am going to use this chameleon. I'm going to go ahead and use the sulfur. Because why not? I'm going to make some silver. And then on my last turn, I'm going to go ahead and use my other chameleon. Because this isn't the right symbol or color. Grab this. And I get to complete it because of that. So I need to use a lead. That and that. And I do have one less symbol that I using on that. That's going to get me a Mercury and a random artifact, which doesn't really matter because there's nothing else I can do to activate it. I think I'm supposed to so I think one of the mistakes I've made is that I'm actually supposed to activate the artifacts when I first place them. So I should have done this much earlier on, and I should have gone ahead and done this. We're not going to worry about that now. We're just going to look at endgame scoring and see how far off we got, and then be done with the game. So I think the victory points that you get are based on your experiments. But Megistus up here is going to get points based on experiments. So let's go ahead and pull these. So we're going to go ahead and advance at 6, 5, 8, 31. All right. Meanwhile, I actually did complete a fair number of experiments. I will say that. Just no blues. And I definitely did not even come close to getting the master experiment done. Even being able to get the master experiment done. But let's see. I'll go up 7 and then another 7. 3. 11. So 28. 35. And then another 9 to 44. And then up to 50. So that's not too bad. I got 50 points just from the experiments. Let's see. Publications. So the artifacts that you get can be used to complete a publication. Right now I've got 2 earth and 1 and 2 water, which unfortunately means that none of these are going to activate. I get none of these publications, so that was a waste. For unlocking a total of 4 formula, I'm going to get another 9 points. Each gold and ethereal dye token is worth 1 victory point. And that's it. And then if you're in the top 3 up here, you'll get some points there. And that's it for scoring on my part. Now let's score about Megistus. It'll get 3 victory points per elemental symbol on its artifacts. Well, it's got 4 symbols total. So that means it's going to get another 12 points to move it up to 43. 3 victory points for remaining unspent ethereal dye tokens. It does not have any. It can now count the number of colors it has. It only has 2 colors. Plus, it can spend 2 more to unlock another formula. So it's going to unlock 3 formula total and get 4 more points that way. Any remaining gold would count as additional yeah, and that's it. So I did manage to beat Bob Megistus' score, but I think with a big asterisk on it. 59 to 47. I have no idea if I did that right. I'm sure that there are plenty of errors I made. And I'm sure you'll let me know about them in the comments. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and put this aside. And we're going to do something different tomorrow. I really want to like this game. I really do. I love the idea of alchemy. I love the idea of elements. I think this seems like a fun game on the surface. It is just so ridiculously difficult to understand if what I'm doing is correct. And honestly, I never saw, like... Because this is the first time I've played in a while, because repeat after me, it's been a while since I've played this game. I feel like I didn't quite understand what was going on here with all the different components. And I think because there's so many different moving pieces, it's difficult to see what the right path to victory is. I mean, your dice choice seems to be pretty much choose the one with the most potency. That's your primary concern. There are other concerns that you might go like, okay, well, maybe this will be worth giving up 1 potency for, but probably not. It also doesn't seem like you have a whole lot of actions. You figure that getting an artifact is difficult. You have to get 3 you have to spend 3 potency to get an artifact. We never did that once. You can sometimes get them from bonuses, which is great. But to get the publications that I needed, I would have needed to be a little bit more focused on what artifacts I did have, and said, okay, you know what, I need to get this earth one over here. So I'm actually going to spend 3. I'm going to give up a whole bunch of stuff and then get this artifact over here. It's difficult to remember what the dice are called, but that's just simply because they use alchemical symbols. That's not a criticism. It's just a comment. I'm going to try this again at some point. I may even try this again next, but yeah, I want to like it. I really do. And it's so, there's so much to keep into account. There's so much to take in mind, and there's a lot of ways that you can make the bot easier or more difficult, and that's appreciated. But I have no idea what level I'm at. So I feel like I need to play this a few more times before I can really say one way or the other whether I like it or not. But right now, my inclination is no. With that having been said, thank you for watching this lengthy video on Trismegistus. And please click like, click subscribe, do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you tomorrow.